Hey there, this video is all about exporting our assets to our developer, whoever's going to be building this thing in a format that they need it. So we've done our design, we've done our testing, client loves it, users love it, it's ready to get built. So we're going to go through a couple of ways of exporting just the artboards, super simple, then exporting single images that we might need to get out. Then we're going to look at batch exporting, okay, tagging lots of things to go out and exporting them all as the right formats with the right syntax, ready for our developers or our engineers to start building it. All right, let's jump in. All right, so let's cover all the different ways. The first one is I just need to send out all of these artboards just as single flats. Okay, so file, export, and we can either have the selected artboards or just all the artboards, please. And you can decide what kind of format you want. As a full page, it's probably best as a PDF or a JPEG, depending on what you want to do. If I go to JPEG, okay, I need to put it somewhere. I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to make a folder called exports. Okay, and I'm going to click on that. Let's go and check it out. So on my desktop, I've got exports, and in here, you're like, whoa, it's because I've got so many artboards. And you can see Bad Dan. Lots of that last chunk where we were just going through and just kind of banging through all the different prototyping and micro interactions. I didn't name the artboards. Okay, so it's obviously really important to name the artboards because you get to this stage and you're like, oh, what do these guys all mean? So you just do the same thing. You can go back through here and just start naming them. Okay, double click on them, give them good names, or you can do it over here in the, it's probably easier doing it in here because then you can tab down. I'm just hitting my tab key on my keyboard so you can just keep typing, then maybe copying and pasting. Okay, that's easy. Let's say I want to get out just single images. So let's say you've made something and the developer's like, oh, can you send me that file? So let's jump to our home page and let's say I want, say we need this to go over. It might not be like for development. It might just be that you need the, somebody's asked for it and you just need it. So I'm going to unlock it so I can select it all. That's not the right shortcut. It's Command L to unlock or Control L on a PC. So I'm going to select all of this and let's say I want to export it. Okay, so if I go File, Export, I've got selected. But because they're not in a group, look what happens. I'm going to make a new export folder on my desktop. This is going to be a new one called Export Singles. Just to show you what happens. So I'm going to export them as JPEGs for the moment. Click Export, and let's check it out. So Desktop, Export Singles. Whoa. Okay, so they're all separate little pieces. And that's kind of cool, I guess. But it's not what I wanted in this case. Okay, and you can also see it pull the names from the layers panel. Can you see these are the bits that I have selected? So naming is important. So I want to send it out as one unit. What I can do is select it all and just group it. So remember Command G or Control G on a Mac. Then we can start using the shortcut, okay, Command E or Control E on a PC just to export that one selection. And now because it's grouped, it can be grouped or a symbol, doesn't matter. We should have named our group before we came out. This one's going to be called Piggy Bank, and I'll stick it on my desktop in a folder called bad naming as well, Singles 2. Final revisited. All right, let's have a little look. Singles 2, and I've just got one image there all together. Cool, huh? Just select them all, group it, export it, and you can do that kind of nice and fluid because you do a lot of this. Command G, Command E, and we're out of here. Cool. All right. Let's undo that. Let's look at batch exporting because a lot of the time you are sending this off to a developer to get made and you want to send out all the files. You don't have to select each one of them individually. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to decide what needs to go out and what doesn't. So if you're new to kind of development, things like images need to get saved out, these icons and the logos, but this big green background will be done in code. Same with the buttons and the text, they'll all be coded for either a website or maybe Xcode for an app, depending on how it's getting made, but they'll get coded. So the developer will want some images and they'll want some code, which we can get from XD, we'll do after this, so that they know how to style things like the button and this weird background swoosh and stuff. But let's get out all the images because I don't want to do this singly. So what you can do is select on this and say, I know you need to go out. Over here, I'm going to give him a good name. This is my Jiro Man, my hero man. Okay. I'm going to enable this option here, mark for batch export even. Click on that. Nothing really changes except when I click on this artboard. Okay, I'm going to go into the home page, double click the actual icon there, and you can see only this guy's marked for batch export. I'll do one more. So I'm going to ungroup this, and I just want this woman here. She's going to be marked for export. Can't talk today. Okay, click on this. You work your way through and decide what you want out. Give them good names, not like background. I'm going to speed this up and just work through and do a few more different bits and pieces. Okay, not the buttons, but the icons. I'm going to get into here. I'll see you in a sec. All right, you're back. I didn't do a whole lot. So to batch export things, you've marked at least one, maybe more. Okay, then you can go to File, you can go to Export, and there's one called Batch. Okay, and same sort of process as before. Okay, so I'm going to go I'm going to say I would like export batch. Let's click Create. How's it going to go out? Let's say it's going to go out via PNG or SVG, depending on what you need. You really want to talk to the developer if they're going to be using SVGs or PNGs. We'll talk about this export 4 in a second, but let's just see what comes out. Click OK, and on my desktop, I've got batch, and in here, can you see those guys came out? Cool, huh? Ready to go. And say you're working and you slowly but surely take everything that you need and you kind of end up making adjustments. So this guy gets a whole lot smaller. I can just go to my batch export, okay, and do it all again. I don't have to go and click them again or name them. It'll just go override them, okay, and in here, you'll see my man is a lot smaller. Not that you can really tell. Okay, but doing it once just makes it super easy later on when you have to kind of update it or change anything. So I said we'd have a little look at, I'm going to undo that actually, I want my giant man back. We're going to look at the file export and we're going to look at, we'll go to batch again, but what we want to do is we want to look at the different formats. Now again, you're probably going to be using PNG, SVG, or JPEG. Okay, so SVGs are becoming more popular. They're not used everywhere. PNGs are probably the most common, especially if you're developing for, say, iOS, which is iPhone, or the Android phones. Let's have a little look at these different options. Design's kind of like straight up how it looks on the screen. Web, okay. Websites often have more than one size, 2 even, okay. So we talked about this